What does race car driving have to do with imagination? Everything. That's certainly the case for Julia Landauer. In preparing for a race, she spends countless hours conjuring up the experience in her mind, including the details of each curve and the optimum path around the track. She visualizes the perfect race, what it will feel like to win, and the roar of the crowd when she stands in the winner's circle. The act of envisioning every detail is a key to bringing Julia's goals to fruition. She mastered this skill while a student at Stanford. During those years, she had much less time to race than her competitors and was concerned that she would fall behind them in training. Having convinced herself that she wasn't going to let that get in her way, she compensated for her lack of time at the track by spending focused time visualizing the experience she would have had if she'd had the time to race. She created personal mantras that would get her in the correct mindset and trigger words she could use to relax. Julia drew upon 12 years of racing experience as she visualized in exquisite detail each of the races, so when she did get back into the car, she didn't skip a beat. She won her first race of the season 2 weeks after she returned. Julia continues to use this technique even when she has time to train on each race course. Days before a race, she starts to visualize the experience so that at the time of the actual event, she has already won the race countless times in her mind. Julia's passion for racing began when she was 10 years old. As she was growing up in New York City with her sister, her parents looked around for a sport for the entire family. They chose go-kart racing, which could be enjoyed by both boys and girls together. After a couple years of experience, Julia knew that she was happiest when she was on the track. She loved racing and found that with practice, she was able to excel. When she was 12, Julia read an article about a boy who was racing cars, not just go-karts. He provided instant motivation, and she decided it was time for her to tackle car racing too. It took another year before she was allowed to drive race cars, since she was still too small to see over the car's dashboard. A year after that, at 14, she won her first race car championship. The story is meaningful in many ways. It reinforces the message of the previous chapter, that only by engaging do you unlock your passions. Had Julia never set foot in a go-kart, she wouldn't have known that racing was her sport. And then, once she did have that initial experience, it was up to her to envision the next steps, from winning each race to becoming a professional race car driver. Athletes of all types use mental imagery as they prepare to tackle physical challenges. The following is a short summary by psychologist Angie Levan describing this behavior. Noted as one form of mental rehearsal, visualization has been popular since the Soviets started using it back in the 1970s to compete in sports. Now, many athletes employ this technique, including Tiger Woods, who has been using it since his preteen years. Seasoned athletes use vivid, highly detailed internal images and run-throughs of the entire performance, engaging all their senses in their mental rehearsal, and they combine their knowledge of the sports venue with mental rehearsal. She quotes golfer Jack Nicklaus as saying, "I never hit a shot, not even in practice, without having a very sharp in-focus picture of it in my head." Heavyweight champion Muhammad Ali also used different mental practices to enhance his performance, including the well-known affirmation, "I am the greatest." The ability to visualize is critically